So, Paul, obviously, we're looking back on the last two games since we last spoke. Obviously, a bit of a disappointment against Farnborough on Saturday, but what a way your team bounced back against Bath on Tuesday. You must be delighted.
Absolutely. Two very tough away games. Tough as it gets, really, in the league. So the Farnborough game, we didn't quite get going first half, which was disappointing because we'd planned all week. We knew what was coming. The players knew what was coming. Farnborough are very good at what they do. They're very direct. They play a certain way. And I'm not going to say we didn't stand up to it. That's wrong. But we didn't deal with it the way that we'd planned to. So that was disappointing. Having said that, there was nothing in the game first half. We give away a needless penalty, which cost us the game really. But there was nothing in the game. But half time, I was disappointed with our performance. Made a couple of subs, and second half, I think we done more than enough to get something out of the game. So it was our first real disappointment, of pre-season and the season. So it was all about a reaction and putting it to bed very, very quickly, which is difficult after a defeat, especially an away one, because it's a long way home on the bus when it's very quiet. Trained Monday, we put it to bed. We had a talk about it and said, what's done's done. Beauty of football is there's normally another game, as there was on Tuesday very quickly. And we know there's not many teams go to Bath and win. It's fact. It's a very difficult place to go. They're a good team. They've got great support. The slope on the pitch makes a massive difference. You seem to build momentum when you're playing with it, and against it, you feel like you're camped in because you're going up a hill. So it's that's a big part of playing at Bath. And I thought we started the game really front-footed, really well. Deservedly went 1-0 up, and we was in the ascendancy then. Should have gone 2 up. Still convinced. I've watched it back. I'm still convinced it was a Stonewall penalty, which was disappointing we didn't get. But then we scored second half. Defending into the slope, Bath made a few changes, matched us up personnel-wise, shape-wise. Grew into the game. I think we defended well overall. Ed's goal came at a very, very nice time, definitely. And even though I'm not going to say Bath were on top, but we were doing more of the defending than Bath were second half. I felt very comfortable at 2-0. I didn't feel like we were going to concede. Then we did, and then it's like you start thinking, here we go. But we stuck it out very well. I mean, I thought we defended. I didn't say it on Tuesday. I thought we defended set pieces very, very well. Bath have got some big, powerful players. I knew they fancied their chances of scoring from a corner, definitely, but I thought we defended that very well. James has made a couple of saves, but saves I would expect him to make. So overall, we responded very well. Under no illusions, it was a tough night for us. All together, we got there in the end.
And one player in particular who responded well to the Farnborough setback is Cody Cook, of course. Could have got perhaps a hat-trick in the second half against Farnborough. Got his first goal of the season against his former club, but he brings so much else to the team as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's not up to full speed yet, Cody. He missed pre-season. He had a little calf strain while he was still a Bath player. And then when he came into us, our pre-season was kind of coming to an end. It was straight into the game. So I think there's still a lot more to come from him fitness-wise. What he does bring is great experience. He's an old-fashioned centre-forward. I think any centre-back who plays against him knows they've been in the game. And he was a focal point for us, definitely. He obviously had the bit between his teeth playing against his old team, as you do. That's human nature. But overall, I mean, I thought his performance was great. You could see he was tiring with 20 minutes to go. But I decided to leave him on because he was very influential defending set pieces, as I spoke about. Bath are strong at that. So my decision to keep him on wasn't an attacking one. It was a defensive one to keep him on for set pieces. But he's going to be an important player for us, absolutely. I've got a lot of belief in him, and I'm glad he's got his first goal, definitely. Always a monkey off your back as a centre forward, isn't it?
And whatever level of football you're playing at in 2024, it is very much a squad game. And you've already shown in the opening couple of games by making changes at half time at Farnborough, or actually making the 4 changes against Bath City, that you've got a whole squad to choose from, that everybody needs to be ready. And another person that encapsulated that fully was Ed Palmer, who obviously got the second goal. He's shown what he's all about, and everybody needs to be ready, don't they?
Absolutely, and this weekend as well. We're Saturday, Monday, Dom. So Ed's a player that I've known for a long, long time, and I've worked with for a long, long time. I know what he's great at, and I know what he's not great at. We've got a good relationship, and we've had success before in teams. He's at a stage in his career and his life where I think he's probably in his prime football wise. He's in brilliant physical condition, and he's a very good football player. And he showed his strength as well. He's a big, strong lad, and he showed his strength with his goal on Tuesday night. Not only was it technically a good header, but he was against a big lump, and he's muscled him really. So I was really pleased for Ed.
So return home to Plainmoor on Saturday against one of the pre-season friends against Dorking. I'm sure it's a game that you're looking forward to.
Absolutely. Well, first off, we're back at Plainmoor. Feels like quite a long time from the Enfield game, which is always a great experience here. I'm sure the fans will turn out in force. And as you quite rightly said, Dorking, I think they're one of the favourites to win the league. So I don't know a great deal about them, but I'm looking forward to it. And I think it's always good to test yourself. And I think it'll be a good marker for us for where we are. So we'll go and train in a minute and see how the lads are. But I think we're relatively injury free. So it's a game we're all looking forward to. There's a feel good around the place, and as long as we work hard and just keep giving everything we've got, you never know what's going to happen in a game of football. We're far from the finished article. We're nowhere near where I want us to be. But it's early, and it's a slow process. But hopefully, fingers crossed, with hard work, we'll get there.
Brilliant. I might just edge a little bit closer, if that's all right. Paul, the club have released a statement today about Austin Booth. I appreciate there's probably not an awful lot more that you can say about it, but just wanted to gauge your reaction to the news today and his 9-month ban.
Yeah, as you said, the club have put a statement out. It's devastating news for Austin, and for us squad wise. So but look, we're here to support him. We'll help him in any way we can, and we're here for him. So.
And I know he's been trying to raise awareness of the issues of betting as well amongst some of the younger players too.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a subject in football that's quite relevant. So like I said, we're supporting him, and we'll help him in any way we can.
Is it frustrating for you that this has happened after such a long time when the offences were meant to have taken place?
I think it's irrelevant what I think of those frustrations. It's happened. The FA have made their decision. That there's clear guidelines, and it's not about my feelings. It's about Austin's feelings.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you. Another player that has been in the headlines this week, Matt Wanacott, unfortunate with his arm break as well. I know he's only recently gone out on loan to Tiverton, but I just wanted your reaction for that as well.
Yeah, disappointed for him. He was playing well at Tiverton. The reason for him going there was to get exposure to men's football at a good standard of football as well. Like I spoke about in previous cases, we think very, very highly of him. Look, he's a young man. He's a young man, and he's had a setback, and it won't be his last setback in his career. That's for sure. It's how you deal. You get setbacks all the time in football, all the time, and you stay positive. He'll be out as long as it takes for his arm to heal. But again, we support him. He'll be fine. He's not become a bad goalkeeper overnight. We still got tremendously high hopes for him, which is why he's got a long deal with us, 2-year deal. It's one of those things. It's football. He's stupid enough to be a goalkeeper. These things are going to happen to him, aren't they? So, it's look, we love him. We think the world of him, and yeah, he'll get better when he's better.
You've touched on it already about being back here on Saturday. Certainly, the atmosphere here for the Enfield game was amazing. Everyone felt together as one. We've seen stuff on social media this week about some of the Bryn consortium in the away end at Bath on Tuesday night celebrating that win. It's sort of the atmosphere around the place. I mean, I know you weren't here last season, but it just feels that everyone is pulling together as one at the moment for one ultimate aim.
Yeah, I think I can't disagree with you on that. It's you know, there's a lot of togetherness around the club, a lot of positivity, but look, ultimately that you know, and that bodes well. You know, unity and, you know, all those things are really, really important in football, and togetherness can take you a long way. But you know, it's so far so good. You know, we haven't had a disappointing period yet, or and sometimes in football you can go a few games without winning. It's not always easy, and it's not always straightforward. So long may that positivity continue. But you know, as long as the players are working as hard as they can, I think that from what I can see in my very early tenure as Torquay United manager, the fans respond to players working hard. You know, and I've got to be brutally honest with you. I think it's the minimum that a football player can do. You know, it's I wasn't a particularly great football player, but I always gave what I had on the pitch, and you know, I think people appreciate that, and I think the fans at the minute appreciate how hard people are working. Whether, you know, there's a million things we can improve on, a million things. It's going to take time, but you know, as long as your work rate and effort and desire is there, then I think the fans, 99% of them, are normally pretty appreciative of what you're doing.
I know you've touched on it already, but 2 games in quick succession over the bank holiday weekend as well. Has that sort of, have you had to change your sort of training plans or anything with that in mind?
No, well, it's I said last week that I very rarely look beyond the next game, but it would be foolish of me not to look at Monday. You know, it's such a quick turnaround. I'm not 100% settled on my starting 11 for Saturday as yet. I'll decide that after training tonight, with one eye on Monday as well. But you know, I'm very fortunate that we've got a big squad, and you know, as Dom alluded to just now, it's important. Everyone's going to play their part. You know, it's and as we touched on last week, the 5 subs makes a hell of a difference. You now can have pre-planned changes at half time and so on. So you know, it's going to be a balancing act, but no, 2 games in 3 days is tough. It's tough, but no, listen, we're looking forward to it. Can't wait to get out here on Saturday back at Plainmoor. It's brilliant arena to play football.
Looks great out there, doesn't it?
It looks perfect, yeah.
Good luck, Paul.
Thank you.
In one of your interviews, you mentioned the phrase "dark arts" about, you know, some of the teams that you would come up against. Is that something that the young players really need to embrace in modern football? You know, the running down of the clock, and you know, maybe sort of playing for an injury now and then. The dark arts of football have become a big thing, haven't they?
Yeah, they're not as dark as they were.
Really?
They're not as dark as when I played. No, but let's call it game management.
Yeah.
Let's call it game management. I think it's just that it happens, doesn't it? It's, you know, the running the ball down into the corner and all these sorts of things, and you know, buying yourself a foul at a really important time, or as you quite rightly say, every now and again someone might go down injured when you're under the cosh, and takes the sting out of the game. I think I think you do have to learn those things. I don't think it's not a natural thing. There's a bit of cuteness to it, you know.
Is it a case of other teams are going to do it to you, so you might as well get in there as well?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I think it's but like, we've got good experience in the team. We're also very young. Also very young. Matty Carson, Finn Tonk, Sam Dre's only 21. Jordan Dye, you know, we're young. We're young as well. So you know, going back on like the Cody one, they know the game, don't they? Oscar knows, Roddy Collins, you know, they know the game. You know, so yeah, it's a bit of yeah, it's good, isn't it? The old dark arts.
It's a bit of fun. The fans love it, don't they?
Yeah, it's a bit of pantomime villain, isn't it? It's yeah.
You mentioned Sam Dreher. He's really stood out for me. Certainly, the games that I've seen so far, he looks as if he was born into that position. You must be pleased with the way that he's taken to that.
He's doing okay. He's doing okay. Yeah, I'm pleased with him, how he's been at the minute. I think you hear me say quite a lot. Technically, he's very good, but he's calm at the right time. Listen, it's so far so good with Sam. Like I say, he's young.
Yeah.
He's only 21. It's not going to be smooth sailing. You know, there's going to be ups and downs, as there is in every career, especially when you're a young centre back. You know, you need that experience to cruise your way through games. But at the minute, you know, he trains hard, and he's a lovely lad, fantastic lad. And I think he's going to grow. I personally think he's going to grow into. I definitely think he's got a future captain in him as well. He talks very well. He's a leader. You know, thrilled with him at the minute. So far, so good.
And getting away from individuals through the whole team, the spirit, especially in the second half when you were under a bit of pressure on Tuesday night, you must be delighted with the way that's come through.
It's a handy thing to have. It's a handy thing to have. I think we've spoke about it lots, haven't we, about how many players have been signed, and you know, I've said, and I'm repeating myself, every player you sign's a gamble. But the bit that I said before, the most pleasing thing about my squad at the minute is they'll turn up for training. So you can see they get on. You can see they get on. You know, they take the mick out of each other. They have banter. You know, they're close. They have petty little arguments. You know, they squabble. But that's what groups of people who get on do. You know, and it's they fall out, but they make up quickly. It's great at the minute. I don't care what anyone says. 99% of football clubs, as a manager, players turn up. There will be a couple who you think, I don't want to coach them tonight. It's human nature.
Yeah.
It's absolutely human nature. The ratio can't. At the minute, there's not one of them. At the minute. But it's honestly, they're a pleasure. Yeah. They're a pleasure. And I keep saying, I can't reiterate it enough. We're nowhere near where I want us to be. Nowhere near it. But we're working hard.
Do you give yourself a certain number of games to get to that point, or does it just take as long as it takes?
300.
Okay, we'll wait.
I don't know. I don't know. I think look, there was parts of Enfield we was exhilarating. Parts of Enfield not so good. Parts of Farnborough really poor. You know, parts of first half at Bath excellent, second half at Bath. How could we kill that game off? Keeping the ball. We should have kept the ball much, much better. We didn't. I said afterwards, you turned the ball over too much. If you turn the ball over all the time, you're going to have to defend a lot. Best form of defence is having the ball. But ultimately, we didn't keep the ball well enough second half. So it's things to learn on. We haven't had a full game yet where we're like, where I'm stood there and thought, we look a proper team here today. There's been 2-minute spells, 3-minute spells, but it's understandable. We're new. We're gelling, we're blending, we're forming relationships and partnerships, and you know, understanding each other. I think at the minute we're just working hard, and you know, they're definitely improving from the start of the season. There's things that is getting drip fed into them every single day, and they're taking it on board. Some take it on quicker than others, but that's human nature. So I keep saying, so far so good.
And you'll be delighted to know that Jacob Wellington will have a few bumps and bruises after that game last night.
It's a great result for them, wasn't it?
Was, yeah.
Yeah.
But he, as you were saying last week, playing men's football and getting kicked up in the air a few times, he had some of that last night.
But this is what I'm saying. I can't recreate that for him in training. You know, he's training with good players, you know, on a daily basis, so he's going to improve. But that physicality, you don't train the way you play. Of course, people want to say that, but he's not going to get launched in training. So, but I think it's got a proper cup tie for him. Exmouth, I know Hilly, I know what his team would be like.
Yeah.
You know, so no, it's great education for him.